when it comes to the way you fight to break the law and disrespect us once you get here. Why not use that same energy in your country?
All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we've got Jesse Lee Peterson and a pro-illegal immigration Mexican American. This one had me laughing from the very beginning. It was just the way it started out. I'll be offering my commentary throughout. Let's get into this.
You understand why we don't want you guys here, right?
Why is that now?
Because you guys come here and you turn our country into Mexico. You become lawbreakers.
How do we
you become disrespectful to the country. You fly the Mexican flag.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go forward, let's get into this. You come here and you turn this country into Mexico. Got to point this out. When you leave something because of you're supposedly disadvantaged or you're in danger or whatever that case may be, when you leave for that reason, it would seem that you don't want where you go to become like where you came from. So obviously, if you have a lot of people who are trying to change where they went into where they came from couldn't have been too bad. I mean, they must not dislike it too much. Maybe a couple tweaks here and there. I got more to offer on that. We'll get into that a little bit later on.
Attack the citizens. That's why.
I mean, you're talking about disrespect. Yet again, we're one of the few countries that wears the American flag all over, even in our underwear.
Who?
The United States citizens.
Pause right there. All right, let's get into that one. All right, there's a difference between wearing a flag and a flag design, right? See, a flag is a certain number of measurement. It's a certain measurement, certain height by width, you know, or equivalence of such, laid out in a certain way. That's a flag, something you can fly, a flag. Now, flag design, flag-oriented design is something totally different. That's something that's based off of the design of a flag, but underwear and T-shirts, things of that nature are not flags. They are designed with a flag design, but that doesn't make them flags.
What about that?
Now, why disrespect the flag that way? And you're talking about disrespect. And here, the United States, the people, disrespect the flag. Here you are, here they
talk. What does that have to do with illegal aliens?
Well, you're talking about disrespect and honoring the country and this and that. Well, now here we disrespect it with coming from our own homes. Coming from their own home. People wearing the flag. Wearing their flag.
Well, the flag.
But
these are American citizens.
But now you're also generalizing that because of DACA, we are allowing all these criminals just like they are in Mexico, and you're generalizing Mexico as a whole as a criminal country.
It have to be because those people are trying to come here. They're not trying to stay in Mexico.
A lot of those people that are under DACA, they have been here since they were children, babies.
That's no.
All right, so I think this is an important part right here. He's talking about DACA, people who've been here for quite a long time. This is a touchy one because there has to be some type of, I guess, middle ground there, and you have different schools of thought on that. Some people are like, no exceptions, right? It is what it is. The law was broken, no exceptions. Some people are, lean the other way. We just open the border, let everybody through. But this is just my personal opinion on some of this. When you take a child that has been born and raised in the United States of America, and that's all they know, right? For all intents and purposes, that child is an American. That's all they know. And now you have somebody 18 years old and raised their entire life in America. Okay? What else are they other than American? What are they more of other than American? So I get it. I have a different take on how we prevent this from happening, because you can't start the clock right there. You can't just start from that point. You're going to have to bring a primary solution, right? And then secondary solutions in order to solve that problem. One way you can prevent a child from growing up in the United States or spending 3, 5, 10, 18 years in this country, and then there becomes a question as to whether or not they need to be deported, it's for them not to have been here illegally in the first place. That's how you fix that, right? It's not an answer for the ones who are in that situation right now, but that's how you prevent it from going forward. You solve all those questions, those problems regarding illegal immigration by shutting it down. First and foremost, stop the bleeding. It's just like somebody they get shot, stabbed or something like that. They're bleeding, right? The first thing you want to do is stop the bleeding. Then we can work on you. But we have to stop the bleeding. And that is what, during the Biden presidency, people try to defend it, but that was the core problem in terms of immigration. They said we need to fix these laws, we need to fix this, we need to fix that, right? But that's like saying I'm gonna do surgery on someone while blood's pouring out of their body. It's not gonna work, right? Because the end will come before you are able to fix that. There's no sense in doing the surgery if they're losing too much blood. You gotta stop the bleeding first and foremost.
No excuse. I didn't tell their parents to let them come.
But then again, it doesn't mean that because they've been here since they were children that they're going to be criminals.
Mexico is, I believe, the sixth largest. They have the sixth largest economy in the world, right? Is that right?
Okay.
Why don't you guys stay there and build your own country? You have enough. The economy is the sixth largest. If you guys stood up and fight in Mexico the way you fight to get them here, then you can make Mexico great again.
Well, because, Mexico may be rich, and it has, and like you say...
Not maybe, it is.
It is rich, but then...
Great question, Jesse, and he doesn't want to answer the question. He wants to skirt around it or whatever like that. The bottom line is corruption, right? If you're willing to fight that hard and demonstrate, go do that in Mexico, right? Fight for it, right? Or is it the only reason that you do it here in the United States is because you feel like you'll be protected while you do that, while you muddy up the water that you won't have to, there won't be any consequences for that. You got to decide how bad you want it, and to run away from it, right? And then come here and all of a sudden be so bold. Something really, really wrong with that.
Why not fight for your own country the way you fight to break the law and disrespect us once you get here? Why not use that same energy in your country?
Because right now, as it is, as far as wages go for people to work in Mexico, it is very,
because
very
you're not
poor.
fighting back there. They have the sixth largest economy. You can fight back and create money.
And people have been fighting back.
No, you guys are here fighting us.
We're not fighting anyone.
What do you think of the race relations in America today?
Race relations?
Race relations.
Between whom? There's so many other countries that we have been involved with.
Between the blacks and the Hispanics, the whites and the Hispanics.
I believe that the 20 years ago, and I can tell you this from what I saw when I was first started teaching, there was a lot of problems between the blacks and the Hispanics.
You were a school teacher?
I am.
Okay.
Between the blacks and the Hispanic. Nowadays, there's a lot more unity between the black and the Hispanic. There's a lot more unity.
Not true.
What you see a lot of this supposed unity, some of it's manufactured, and the other portion of it, the part that is legitimate, is because you have people who think the same way, right? And it's not. It's most of the time, these are forward-thinking people. It's not blacks and whites who haven't taken exception to illegal immigration. A lot of Hispanics take exception to illegal immigration. And just a quick note on Hispanic. What does Hispanic really mean? It means coming from a country where Spanish is the primary language. Basically, that's what Hispanic means. But Hispanics are not a monolith, right? Even Mexicans are not a monolith. You have people who are ethnically Mexican. Their family has been here in the United States of America since the founding of the United States of America. And they are Americans. And many of them have just as much issue with illegal immigration as as black folks and white folks. It's not about the race. It's about the action. It's illegal immigration. The same people who feel like they don't want a Mexican person illegally immigrating or migrating to the U.S., they don't want a Chinese person coming across that border. They don't want an African person coming across that border. They don't want a European person coming across that border illegally. Bottom line, that's what it comes down to.
It's still bad.
Okay, and it might be regional. It might be regional, but it is not as far as country. From what we've seen, in the media, it may be fake news as
fake news.
your president says.
Blacks
but
and Hispanics do not get along.
Notice he said your president says your president, right?
Well, in your opinion, in my opinion, blacks and Hispanics nowadays get along a lot more than what they did in the past.
What rights do the illegals have? They're coming in illegally. What rights do they have?
The undocumented people, you mean, have, they have, everybody here, documented or undocumented, is protected with the same rights that a U.S. citizen has.
No.
Really?
That a U.S. resident has.
So you're saying that the
Wait a minute. So we go from U.S. citizen to U.S. resident. Which one is it? Because residents and citizens aren't the same, right? Resident just means you live somewhere. That doesn't make you a citizen, and you don't have the same rights. All right, for case in point, citizens can't be deported. Residents can, right? They're not the same, but they try to use these words interchangeably. They switch it around on you. You got to pay attention because the language, if they can change the language, then they can change your mind, right? And they know this, and it's done intentionally. They intentionally switch these words up, right? So they distort the meaning of it in hopes that they can bring more people into their way of seeing things.
illegal aliens, they break the law to come here, and they come illegally, and they have the same rights that I have under the Constitution?
Most undocumented people come into the U.S. legally, whether it usually.
Wait a minute. How can you be undocumented? If you came in the U.S. legally, how would you be undocumented? Because you're documented throughout the legal entry process. There's your documentation.
Whether it is with a visa or under political asylum.
Well, how
now
about
we do have, and I am aware, people that come into the United States illegally.
Right.
And
do those illegal aliens have the same rights that the American citizens have?
They do. They are protected. Yes.
They have the same rights under the Constitution?
Not all the same rights, but they do have some rights that are.
What
that
rights
do
they have once they break the law to get here? What rights do they have? Give me an example.
On our First Amendment, they do have rights to, to an attorney, for example, to have legal counsel, whether they are here legally or illegally.
Wrong again. No, see, when you're here illegally, you can be deported immediately. This right to this attorney thing, all that is a big smokescreen, right? Because if they had their way, if you have a right to an attorney and the judge says you have to leave, then, now you're supposed to have the right to an appeal, right? And then if the appeal doesn't go your way, then you need to have a right to another appeal, right? And this will just go on and on and on. Then it'll lead back to the first argument when he was talking about DACA and people who've been here for years, right? So if I can delay the process long enough to where I've been here for a while, now I can just redirect the argument. Okay, but I've been here for all this time. And I might have illegally gotten me a Social Security number or something like that. I'm paying taxes. I'm helping the economy. What are you going to do without me here? What are we going to do without them here? Our new slave labor class, right? This is the argument that you'll hear coming from certain people.
Undocumented. They do have the same rights as we all do of free speech. As of now.
Are you joking or what?
No, I'm not joking.
You really believe that? Let me ask, were you born in the United States?
I was born in Mexico.
You were born in Mexico?
I was born in Mexico.
And are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
And did you come here illegally?
No, I came here with a visa.
Oh, so why can't you tell them to do that?
Why can't what?
Why don't you tell these other ones to do the same thing? Come in the right way.
Because every person's case is different.
No, but they should come through the front door so they can do that, not the back door like thieves.
No, they're not. You know.
Well, what are they if they're not? If they're not thieves, if they're not lawbreakers, if they hadn't committed a crime, then what is it then? And the fact that he's been given the privilege to become an American citizen, you would think there'd be some type of appreciation. See, what you need to be worried about, first and foremost right now, is yourself. You got to be thankful for that privilege. And the way that it happened shows that it's possible. You came through the front door and you were granted citizenship in the United States. That proves that system works. That proves that it works. So like Jesse asked the question, why wouldn't you encourage other people to do the same?
Are they breaking the law by coming here illegally?
If someone comes here illegally, yes.
So
but
they are breaking the law.
No, they're not, because they are going through customs.
No, they're jumping
going
the
through.
fence.
No, well, yes, some of them are,
Is
and
that
I
illegal?
agree there. But you also have those people that are going through customs, going through border patrol, with their paperwork, asking for political asylum.
Just because you ask for it doesn't mean you're going to get it. And just because you ask for it doesn't mean that's the real reason. Political asylum from what? Because truth be told, if it was that bad, if it was as bad enough to justify that type of migration, that type of movement, to me, that sounds like there should be a war going on. As a matter of fact, you might argue this, but it'd be less expensive, less costly in the long run, and more beneficial over the long run to go to war with that country or that government, that crooked, corrupt government that is doing this to people in the name of humanity. The world government, the world governments should come together on that, and we should all say, you know what, we got some fools down here in country A, and it's so bad that their population is fleeing the country, afraid for their lives. They're dying. These people need our help. We need to go in there and get rid of these evil people that the people can't fight. Yeah, but see, that would go against that would go against my my belief that if somebody wants some help, then they have to be fighting first. They have to be doing something first. I can't come in and do it for them. But there's a good case to be made that government, that leadership should be removed. Heck, if America's the answer, maybe I need to install a constitution down there too. Maybe I just need to pull everybody out, the government, and put a government in place, and put a constitution in place, and put the laws in place, and enforce all of that for a generation or two until you become just like America or the U.S. or much more like it. You won't be it, but you'll be a little more like it.
Amazing. Were your parents born here?
No,
in the US?
my parents and myself were born in Mexico.
Did your parents come here illegally?
My parents and I came the same way with a visa.
And how old were you when you came?
I was a year and a half.
A year and a half. Are you an American citizen?
I'm a naturalized American citizen.
And do you love this country?
Yes, I do.
Do you love it enough to protect us from the illegal aliens?
I do.
What?
Yes, I do.
But you're helping the illegal aliens to get here.
I'm not saying I'm helping the undocumented get here.
He will not say illegal. What is this obsession with not saying illegal and saying undocumented? It's the same thing, because the legal process would provide the documentation. If you don't have documentation, if you're not documented, it's illegal. That's the only way to look at it.
I'm telling you that we are helping those people across the border, by helping them get their paperwork processed through immigrations. Now, we also go out and I mentioned, and we leave water out in the desert.
I saw that.
Okay. Now, when we leave out water in the desert, it's just for them to, for anyone, if they find water, to get a drink, to hopefully save a life.
Amazing.
Now,
It's to facilitate the illegal movement, the illegal migration. If you're putting water out there, why would somebody need to find water in the desert? Because they're sneaking across. And by providing that, then you're assisting them, you're aiding them, you're abetting them, right? And it might sound cold-blooded, because to an extent it is cold, but you made that decision to make that trek across the desert. You did that. So you were responsible for planning that trip. You're responsible for your needs being met throughout that trip. That's all on you, right? And and sad enough to say it, but if something happens and you don't make it, that's on you as well. And anyone who offers assistance, as cold as it might sound, and I know this is debatable, but they're aiding you in illegal activity because they know you're committing a crime and they're assisting you while you do it.
whether I'm helping them come into this country illegally, the question is no. They're coming on their own.
That's why we have a problem with foreigners coming here, because what I noticed today, that they come into our country pretending that they want to be Americans and pretending that they love the country, but they end up turning against the country the way that you're doing. You just said, yes, it's fair to support the Constitution and social justice, but you say you want to come here and be an American, but you're not acting like one. How do you live with yourself?
How does an American supposed to
First and foremost, an American would protect and defend.
act?
By supporting America, by supporting the Constitution. Not helping the illegal alien break the law to get in here and take advantage of our social services and things like that.
Again, we're not helping, as you say, illegal aliens, correct term would be undocumented people, break the law by coming here.
Are they illegal?
They're undocumented.
Are they aliens?
What is an alien to you?
What is an alien, period? Since you know so much, you should be able to tell them what an alien is. It's just semantics. It's wordplay. Again, it is wordplay.
An alien is a foreign
Mexicans and others
person.
who are trying to come here out through the back door. Are they aliens?
An alien would be,
And they weren't born here, so they're aliens, right?
Okay.
Is that right?
Well, they're immigrants.
Are they aliens?
They would be immigrants. An alien would be someone from another.
And see, again, we're playing semantics. Yes, they're an alien. That's why you have resident aliens. That's why you have a resident alien visa. You have a resident alien, you have illegal aliens. He doesn't even really want to say the word alien.
Country. In
So
this
are
case,
they
yes.
aliens? They come from another country, right?
Correct.
They're not U.S. citizens, right?
They're not U.S. citizens.
So are they aliens?
If they are here, yes.
Yes. Thank
Are
you.
they aliens?
I just answered your question.
So these people who are coming here from the back door from other countries, are they aliens?
That's what here in the U.S. we have been labeling them. Yes.
Not we have been labeling them. That's what they are, aliens. The next question, I'm guessing here, haven't seen it yet, but I'm guessing Jesse's going to ask him, are they here illegally? And if so, doesn't that make them an illegal alien?
You're not answering the question. Are they aliens?
Are they aliens? Now, if I'm answering the question now, if you're answering me, if
you're answering in an honest way, a dishonest way.
Okay.
Are they aliens? I'm asking you personally. Do you know that they are aliens? Yes or no?
Do I know that they're aliens? Now, are we talking Martian aliens or people that come from another country?
The illegals that are coming from other countries.
That is a term that we have given them here.
That's not what I asked. Are they aliens?
Well, according to the law, like
How about
you mentioned,
according to you?
according to me,
Uh-huh.
then it would be yes,
Okay.
because
Wow.
because that
Why
is
is
what
it so hard to say
that is
that?
what the law states.
Why was it so hard to be honest? Black Americans are being hurt first and foremost by these illegals coming in, because a lot of them are ending up in the hood, and they hate black people already, because in Mexico blacks are hated, and so they come here.
Now, let me speak on that for a minute. When he says that they're ending up in the hood, right? And this is it's not just a one-fold issue. There's other angles involved there. But just to be brief, I've seen this happen in the neighborhood where my parents grew up, right? I've seen that a lot of the properties get converted over, and now there are Mexican families living in his houses. Neighborhoods quickly becoming more Mexican and less black, right? So part of it might be what is what Jesse is talking about. But then there's another part too about it, and this has to do with the quote unquote black community. There's a lot of times people when they do start to do better, or they raise their class status, whatever you want to call it. First thing they do is leave the neighborhood, right? And you can't blame them. They're moving on to something quote unquote better, right? A bigger house, that's key. That's a big thing. A bigger house, more comfortable living. They go off, they live in subdivisions, this, that, whatever, buy some property. So they're moving out of the neighborhood, the hood, neighborhood. So they're moving out of the neighborhood, right? Then you have another group of people who their parents have aged out. They're dying off, and they don't want to live there. And a lot of them are looking for quick cash, right? I've personally seen people sell their parents' house and go buy a Cadillac Escalade. I've seen it happen. So they would sell an appreciating asset, or an asset that maintains its value at least over time, and go off and buy a depreciating asset. I've seen it. Works like clockwork, right? That quick cash, because having that money, that quick flow of money, is useless unless somebody sees it. Somebody has to know you have the money, right? I used to say this, and this, not trying to offend anybody, but we have these conversations, and I remember specifically saying it. We were having, me and another black guy were having a conversation back and forth, a debate. We're talking about money. And I told him, I said, a black man, and it's hyperbolic. I know and it was meant to jab a little bit, right, at that point. But I said, a black man could win the lottery, $1 million. And this is really true about most men. But I was using this as an example. I said, black men. I said, could win the lottery, millions and millions of dollars, and he wouldn't be happy. And he said, what do you mean they wouldn't be happy? They wouldn't be happy. I said, they wouldn't be happy until they purchased something that showed the world that they had the money. And he was quiet. He thought about it. And you know what was funny? He said, something, you're right. It wouldn't be enough to just have money in the bank. It wouldn't be enough to have a secure future all the way out. It wouldn't be enough to secure the legacy of your offspring. It wouldn't be enough to just be financially set. The true happiness would come when you can dress and drive and live in a way that other people can see it. Because if not, it wouldn't matter. Now, again, this is not everybody, but this is what I said in the example, and it made sense to him. And it's a lot of people, but these people in particular, they would sell these homes and they would spend the money elsewhere. Gone, just like that, boom. And a lot of them didn't really get a great price on it because they didn't value the home. In their minds, it was still worth less. Get it? Worth less. Because it was in the hood, and that's what leads to gentrification. And then the other thing is you have a lot of older people who are getting reverse mortgages and things of that nature, and the houses are being snatched right up from under them, or they're dying, and the house is underwater. Somebody's taking it for cheap, throw a couple dollars in it, and they sell it, and boom, you have a lot of Mexicans that come in and are buying this property. Why? Because they ain't scared of the hood. All right, oftentimes it's better than where they came from, better than where they were living before. If I can move out of a trailer park into a house, then why not? So they tend to appreciate that more so than the folks who frown down upon it. They don't want to live like their parents. They don't want to live where their parents lived like that. And the Mexicans have no problem with it at all. It's a solid house. I'll go live there, and while I'm there, I'm working on building something else. So it's a multi-pronged thing. It's not just one thing. There's a lot of reasons for that.
Like in the LA area, Compton, Watts, South Central LA, and they're overpopulating the schools, and the public school system is bad enough already.
Okay.
They're overpopulating the schools. When they go to the county, when the American black women go to the county facility for health care, they have to wait in long lines. There are violence going on every day between the blacks and Hispanics. A lot of blacks are having to leave. And when it comes to employment, the businesses are paying the illegal, under the table, or they work for nothing. Does it bother you that blacks are being affected first and foremost by illegal aliens coming into the country? Are you bothered by that?
No, I am not.
Wow. So you don't care about the blacks?
Because you're making a big generalization.
No, I'm telling you
that
facts.
because of the Hispanic coming into this country undocumented, we are affecting the black.
You are.
In black America.
But you know that they don't
and
get
you're
along.
making a big generalization. If that were the case, that means, it's not just the black. It's
affecting everybody. In the
It's right. He's right though. It's not just the blacks. It's not a race thing. It's a status thing. There's levels to this thing. It's class warfare. So it's not just race that's being affected. It's all these people that are in that at that financial level, at that class, and it just so happens that there's more blacks in these areas that are at that level. But the Mexicans that are coming here illegally, they're not going to West Virginia, right? And oh my God, it might look different if they did, but I'm going to leave that one alone. Let's proceed.
taken away.
Exactly.
But blacks
According
first and foremost.
to what you're saying, it's because of the undocumented.
The illegals coming in and bringing all these problems to black people, and you're saying you don't really care about that.
I'm not saying that.
How do you feel knowing that that's happening? You know that that's happening. How do you feel about it, knowing it's happening?
I do not feel any remorse at all because let me tell you what.
That's amazing.
You are classifying.
Amazing.
You are classifying a Hispanic group as being just completely, as you say, illegal, attacking the black American.
I'm only talking about the illegal ones.
But see, you can't do that.
Why not?
Because how are you going to say that in this group that is fighting right here, all of these people are illegal?
Well, I'm talking about the ones that are.
But you can't say that.
Wait a minute. Yes, you can. If you're talking about the ones that are illegal, then you're talking about the ones that are illegal. You can't just lump everybody together. This guy's lumping everybody together and they're saying, "Oh, you're calling us all illegal." Nobody said that. Nobody said that. We didn't say the Mexicans, or we didn't say people with Mexican heritage or ethnicity or anything like that. We didn't say that. We said illegal immigrants, which includes folks that aren't Mexican, never lived in Mexico. They're here illegally, period, point blank.
How can you visually say that person is illegal or that person is not?
And see, that's the problem about you people bringing all these
It's
people
the
in
same thing
here.
with the black. There's black. I could say maybe you're illegal. Hey, maybe you came from South Africa. Hey, maybe you're from Cuba.
What's your point?
But my point is, you can't just say and look at a group of people and say that they are illegal.
Why not?
How can you distinguish it?
Because
No.
we have
How can you distinguish it?
I'll tell you how you can distinguish it. I'll tell you the best way to distinguish it. When they're trying to come across the border, when you have a big group of people that come across the border, that cross a river and come up on American soil, that's how you can point at a big group of people and say, they're all illegal. They're all illegal, right? And you can even be argued if there is an American citizen among them, he's illegal too, right? Coming across, doesn't mean he gets deported, but you give him a ticket, jail time or something for not going through the proper channels to come back into the country.
You've brought so many in here now, it's hard to know who is a citizen and who is not.
Okay.
Is that true?
No.
What do you think of the Great White Hope?
And that is?
President Donald Trump.
Uh-oh.
What I think about him in what case?
Uh-oh.
Period. Did you vote for him?
I did not.
And you voted for Hillary?
I did.
You voted for Hillary?
I did.
What is a man?
What is what?
A man. Besides the body part, what is a man?
It depends on how you define a man.
How do you define it?
He just asked you for the definition. What is a man? And his answer is, it depends on how you define it.
Okay.
What, are you a man?
I believe so. Yeah.
Are you a man?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure?
What makes you a man?
You said I believe so as though you're not really sure.
Okay.
I love it. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I love the way he gets in there. I love it.
Yes, I am.
And so what is a man?
What is a man? Well, it depends. Again, someone with a good moral, good standard, or and examples to their family.
And
Okay.
so are you a man?
Yes, I am.
But you're breaking the law.
According
And your
to
family see you doing this, and you voted for Hillary. Would a real man vote for Lion Cricket Hillary? Who
Okay.
support everything that's evil? Would a real Christian man vote for her?
Here in this country, the good thing is that we have the right to vote for whomever
That's
we
true,
like.
but that's not what I asked.
Okay.
Would a real Christian man vote for Cricket Lion Hillary that support abortion? She has no
What's-
moral standards. She supports same-sex marriage. Do you support same-sex marriage?
Yes, I do.
You support abortion?
Abortion. Everybody has their own rights.
That's not what I asked. Do you support abortion?
In certain cases, yes.
That's amazing, man.
Amazing.
Well, no wonder you voted for her.
And I love the way it says in certain cases. That argument right there, it really bothers me when people say in certain cases, yet they advocate for basically abortion being birth control. Now, how do you go from in certain instances? If that's the case, why wouldn't you lead with that? And if you were working on policy, why would you be anti-abortion instead of pro-abortion in certain circumstances? Why wouldn't you lead with that? Then maybe you would be able to move more people over to your side. But if you come out of the gate saying you don't believe in abortion, then you believe in abortion across the board, then I think that's exactly what it is. You believe, just like the borders, you believe in open borders. You believe in open abortion. There's no way around it, but they try, again, semantics, the words, they try to play these word games.
So, are you a man?
Yes, I am.
What is it about you that makes you think you're a man when you're doing everything the way a liberal, godless female would do? Why do you think you're a man?
Because I feel it is the right thing.
Is it right for two men to get married?
I believe they have a right, yes.
Did
to get
God
married.
give them that right?
I believe so.
You believe God gave the right to two men or two women to get married?
I believe so. I believe so.
And why do you believe that? As a Christian man, why do you believe that?
Because, as a Christian man, anyone has a right to love whomever they would like.
Homosexual love is love?
Yes, it is.
Have you ever been in love with a man like that?
No, I haven't.
Do you know anyone who's in love like that?
Yes, I do.
And you think that's real love?
I believe so.
Do you go to church?
Occasionally.
Do your preacher know you think this way?
I don't know. I don't sit and talk with them.
What I'm curious about is what is with his attachment to Christianity. Obviously, Jesse is, strong in his faith as far as Christianity. But the other guy, what is it? Why does he feel as if he owes some allegiance to Christianity? Why is it important for him to say that he's a Christian? And he didn't seem to have any doubt, unwavering. He all the other questions he was asking for clarification and skirting around, but when it came to him saying he was a Christian, boom, just like that. He didn't stutter. He said he was a Christian. But my question is, why? Why is that important? In a country where you can believe whatever you want to believe, you can have your faith can be whatever whatever faith you want to have. Why does he feel it necessary or important to attach himself to Christianity while believing the things that he believes? Why does he want to make that? Why do a lot of people do that? I'm just curious about that. And I really would like some feedback on that. Why is it important to associate yourself with Christianity while also associating yourself to everything that's not Christian? Why?
How about your wife and kids? They know that you
Oh
think.
yeah.
Amazing. Are you for the big, beautiful?
Now, some people might say that I'm wrong in asking the question that way. Some people might say that all the things that he's saying, they are Christian. The same-sex marriage, the abortion, all of these things are Christian. In his mind, he reconciles it that way. So I'm curious. Do you think you can be Christian and believe the things he believes? Do you think it is Christian to believe the things that he believes? Do you think that Jesse has some narrow version of Christianity that's not authentic? Let me know your viewpoint on that.
War going up around the border?
Am I for the wall?
Yeah.
Of course not.
You don't love this country.
According to you.
No, you don't love the country.
Okay.
And the reason I say that because you're not putting your country first.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let that one slide. He said it so matter of fact too. Of course not. Are you for a wall? Of course not. Why are you not for a wall? The only reason that you would be against a wall, in my humble opinion, is because you're against forcing people to enter the country legally, the right way. You want seams and gaps in the border, wide seams and gaps in the border that will allow people to come across that border illegally, at which point you can advocate for them to stay here, and you will assist in any way you can while they're coming across. That can be the only position. That's as far as I'm concerned, but you may have a different take on that. Let me know what you think.
Why is that?
Because you don't love her. You don't love your country.
What
You
does
don't love God.
do
You
we
don't love your
need
country. You don't even love your family.
do we need to put a wall to say, oh, that's a beautiful wall, and now here I am, I love America? Do I need to make those comments in order for people to say, oh yeah?
That's like saying you put a lock on your door to say, oh, this is a beautiful lock, and I love my house, I love my home, I love my family. Is that the reason for the lock on the door? So if that doesn't make sense, there's no way in the world what he's saying makes sense.
I love America.
Your action need to speak to that. Right now it's not. This is why the white man don't want you here.
Well, it goes with the same thing with the black. That's why they don't want.
The man is a super troll. He couldn't even keep a straight face when he said that.
The black here either.
Right, because they're out
every
of
day we
control
hear all
too.
this violence against the black people.
Can you imagine building a beautiful home and then you let the foreigners come in and they destroy it? Why would you want anyone here like that?
Yeah, and it happens every day.
Oh, let me ask, it happens every day. So why wouldn't the white man want them to stay away?
It's not
Would
just.
you want someone to come into your home that you built and screw it up?
Of course not.
So you understand then why the white man doesn't want you here, right?
But you're saying,
understand that?
again, you're saying that all these causes are done by the undocumented, or in your words,
by
the
American
illegal.
citizens too.
It doesn't matter if all of it's done by the undocumented. You can narrow it down to one crime, one instance of harm, one death. Just one. If it's done by someone that shouldn't have been here in the first place, that's a problem. Often they try to lump everything together and stir it up so that there can be confusion, right? That's what they want, is confusion. That's their goal, that's their aim. But the bottom line is you should be able to eliminate part of it. The crimes that are being committed by someone who's here illegally, Why don't we shut that part down and then continue to work on the problem? Eliminate that portion. But they don't want that. It's almost like they either want there to be confusion and drama and things like that, so that it's like they thrive in that environment, or that's the way they justify their point, by trying to slide everything into that one position, that one category, muddying up the water, and somehow thinking that they can make it make sense. That somehow it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. When you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. But somehow they try to make it make sense. And it's like if they keep repeating that over and over again, keep repeating that lie over and over and over, it starts to sound true. And it helps you believe it because they believe it. They've lied so much to themselves, so much, that they believe their lie. And their conviction in that lie will sway you or other people. It will sway them, because how could somebody believe that strongly unless there's some semblance of truth to it? But it's simple. It's not complicated. It's really, really easy. And I think that's why a lot of people miss the point, because it's so simple.
Okay.
You're helping them to do it.
By the American citizens too.
Yeah, by you, like the border angels.
Mm-hmm. So
you guys are no angels.
Okay.
Unless you're those bad angels. So should Mexico pay for the wall? The Great White Hope said Mexico is paying for the wall. Should they pay?
I think the person who proposes something should be the one to pay. In this case, the U.S.
Should we deport the illegals?
If there is probable cause, yes.
Should we deport MS-13?
Wait a minute. Probable cause. The fact that you're here illegally is probable cause. The fact that you broke the law is probable cause. What more cause are you looking for?
Gang members?
If they have cause, yes.
There is a caravan of illegals at the border right now.
Of immigrants, yes.
Yeah, down at Mexico, down at Tijuana, is that right?
There were.
And where are they now?
Now look at this picture. Look at this picture. Now this guy would advocate for these folks here to stay in the United States. He would say, oh, well, they deserve due process. They deserve, a trial. They deserve an appeal, right? There was no due process coming in. Now, if you came through and there was due process when you came through and you were documented and you were here legally, then sure, absolutely. But no, and that's another thing. I got to speak on this. That's another issue with that last presidency, right? With Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That was the issue. Their goal was actually to do that, to get as many people in here with some type of documentation as possible, so that you would clog up the system trying to remove anyone, even if they lied or there was found to be no justification for them to have asylum. So they wanted so many people to come across that border with documentation, right? Which is why they opened it up the way they did and said, here's your paper. Come see us sometime. They'll get a court date in the future. We'll send you a letter or something like that. And the reason they did that was so that they could try to bog that system up so that you couldn't get somebody and then go back all the way back to the beginning. By the time you get to somebody that would have had children, and them children would have grown in the United States, and this will be all they know. And then here comes the argument again. You're trying to separate kids from their families, or you're trying to send children out of the country when this is all they know. Prevent the problem in the first place, control that border, stop letting people just filter through.
They right now they are in CBP custody.
Over there or over here?
Well, Border Patrol custody.
Do you think America is a racist country?
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's becoming
so
more.
If it's racist, why do they let you people in here?
Racist as far as, especially these last 2-3 years, is what I've seen. A lot.
Jesse said, you people. Why do you let you people in here? Right? Dude is off the chain. He is off the chain, and he knows exactly what he's doing. It's surgical. It's It's with precision. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Only became racist since the president been in the White House.
It has become more. We have seen a lot more racism going on since then.
Are you an honest man?
Yes, I am.
You're an honest man.
Yes, I am.
You are an honest man.
For the third time, as Peter, yes, I am.
Two quick things. The founder of your organization, Enrique,
Correct.
what's his last name?
Morones.
Morones, called Trump a racist. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Amazing.
You know, a lot of
you're like turning against the people who are feeding you.
people want.
Do you see
people,
that?
Yes, amazing, truly amazing. Well, I guess America is a racist country. It's becoming more racist, and the reason that you know that is because anybody who doesn't do things the way you think they should be done is racist, right? So that's where we have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking me out. If you like this kind of content, I try to keep it a little higher vibrational. If you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will see you on the other side. Take care. Peace.